You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios.
Inflation on Main Street leading to deflation on Wall Street. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Stocks are plunging. The Dow's down nearly 500 points after this morning's report showing inflation rising back up.
Prices were higher than expected in March. The Consumer Price Index rose 0.4% from February. It was also up 0.4% excluding food and energy. For the year ending in March, consumer prices rose 3.5%.
Fox's Ginny Casola, the annual rate's been rising again, which could further delay Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. President Biden just put out a statement saying inflation is down 60% from its peak, but prices are too high, calling on grocery retailers to dip into record profits to lower price tags in stores. An ex-Trump executive has just been sentenced in New York. Alan Weisselberg got 5 months in jail for perjury in his testimony at the Trump civil fraud trial. Weisselberg, former Trump Organization chief financial officer, already spent months behind bars for tax fraud. Former President Trump, in a Truth Social post this morning, blamed White House thugs for all his legal issues. Today, he'll hold big money fundraisers in Georgia. His son, Eric Trump, tells Fox.
They know what's happening to this country. The Biden narrative is no longer working. The mainstream media, they can no longer kind of sugarcoat how bad and how disastrous he's been for this entire nation.
Now, President Biden keeps blaming the former president for creating what Democrats call abortion chaos, endangering women after a Supreme Court ruling allowing states to ban abortions, like in Arizona, where a Civil War-era law has been upheld, outlawing nearly all abortions, even in cases of rape and incest. The House will not send the Senate impeachment articles for Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas today, delaying delivery to next week. Republican Congressman Ben Cline would be a manager even if Democrats hold a trial, and tells Fox.
We have these laws in place for a reason, to protect the public. This secretary has failed to enforce these laws, and people are dying in this country as a result. That's why he needs to be removed immediately.
America's listening to Fox News.
You know, today, $20 barely gets you a burger and fries, and maybe it'll get you a quarter tank of gas. But you know what it'll get you, though? For just $20 a month, you get unlimited talk and text and plenty of 5G data from my friends, my cell phone company, a veteran-owned company, Pure Talk. Make the switch today, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Now, choose a wireless company that shares your values. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword save now. Make the switch today. Pound 250, keyword save now from Pure Talk.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's
It's time to win cash. Get your KPEL News apps ready, because here's your chance to win up to $30,000. Just enter the following code into your KPEL News app where it says win cash, and make sure you listen for more codes throughout the day, because the more codes you enter, the better your chances. Here is your next code.
And get your phones out. It's time for your 9 o'clock code. That code is 663. Your 9 o'clock code is 663.
I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% Lists Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 in the stormy weather. Woo. If you don't have one of them generators, I told you folks, you better get you a generator. You never know. Hearing about people losing electricity. And I lost electricity, too, and my generator kicked back on in about, 6 seconds, I think they told me today. So I never lost electricity but for 6 seconds. Anyway, I hope everybody stays out of the bad weather. I hope nothing bad happens. But anyway, everybody's dealing, the whole state just about is going to deal with this line of thunder showers that went through. Anyway, 844-766-6607 is the number. Got a lot of stories. Got a breaking story. The red light, the cameras over the Basin Bridge yesterday. Blank Page Cortez's big deal 2 years ago. Got blasted yesterday in the Senate. It got voted to get rid of that craziness. 38-0 in the Senate. Heather Cloud was absent. I'm sure Heather would have voted like that as well. Unanimous vote. So anyway, with all that, but let's jump gears. Let's go up north. Guy watching this very closely as the trial for redistricting is in the last day. At least that's what they're saying. Where we have a gerrymandered district that's based only on race, so we just leave it like they voted for, early in the year last year. So anyway, Roy Alexander joins us. He's an attorney following this. Roy, how you doing?
Doing good, Moon. Good to talk to you.
Well, tell me what's going on. Kind of give us an update on everything. Liz Murrow was on here yesterday, but I do want to get your take because you actually have got to go through a couple of days of it now.
Yeah, we're in the second day. I think it's going to end today. I don't know what time this afternoon. And essentially, you kind of characterized it a minute ago. What we're talking about is that the Supreme Court has said that race alone cannot decide a congressional district. Race can be a factor. It just cannot be the only factor in drawing a congressional district. And so what they're saying is, and again, I know you've seen it pointed out, I mean, what do Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Alexandria, and Shreveport have in common? I mean, not really very much. I mean,
we in Louisiana. We're in Louisiana, but that's about it. That's about it.
That's exactly right. We are in Louisiana, and Senator Seabaugh and Senator Presley testified yesterday, and essentially they said that, that when that plan came up that they all voted for and Governor Landry signed, they felt like they had no choice, that the judge, if they didn't do that, was about to draw districts themselves. And I think it's very inappropriate for a federal judge to do that, especially a district court judge. But that's what the judge in Baton Rouge was threatening. If y'all don't add another minority district, I myself am going to draw one. And this is really the problem, Moon. It's true that the black population is about 1/3, but you've still got to draw districts that are not insane. In other words, Moon, I'm sure you remember back to 1992 in that crazy Cleo Fields district, that Z. Remember that, Moon?
Yep.
It went all over the state, started in New Orleans and ended up in Shreveport. And the Supreme Court, Cleo was a one-term congressman because that got thrown out. Clearly that was based only on race. So what the judge is a three-panel judge here. I'm sure will be appealed to the U.S. Fifth Circuit and then probably to the Supreme Court. But they're trying to argue, oh, no, there's other factors we've considered besides race. And they're saying, we protected Louisiana's political clout. We still have made sure U.S. Speaker Mike Johnson is there, Steve Scalise, and Julia Letlow, who is on the Appropriations Committee. And that's all true, except the map we have right now also does that. We have all that right now. We don't need a new map. And so you've just got to draw the line in a way that certain districts have something in common. They call them commonalities, demographics. Is it an agricultural area? Is it a business or industrial area? Is it rural? Is it urban? I mean, people in Shreveport just don't really have much in common with Lafayette. We just don't. We do with Monroe and Alexandria and Ruston.
That's not exactly true. You got me. You got me. That's what's in common, man.
Everybody in the state can claim you. But even you used to be in Monroe. Used to be in Monroe.
Correct, I was. But I was born and raised down here. But, hey, listen, I want you to – you got to remember, Judge Dick is an Obama appointee. Judge Dick ordered racial gerrymandering, which is unconstitutional. Where Alan Seaball and I saw Alan Seaball testified, Senator Alan Seaball and Senator Thomas Presley. Seaball, we were there because we were basically told we had to draw a second majority minority district, or the judge would. That was the only reason we were there. That was it. They came up and Presley said the racial component was the fundamental tenet. We were told we had to have 2 African-American districts. Otherwise, the court would have drawn the map for us. They're telling you it's all racial. Anybody arguing anything else is really losing their minds at this point.
They are. Because, again, I've tried to have an open mind, but Shreveport is 250 miles from Baton Rouge, and they're completely different. I mean, to have the same congressional seat, run, it's just, there's really, and so no matter what happens at this 3-judge panel, and I think it could go the correct way to me. This is a racial gerrymander. I think 2-1, maybe all 3 of them. Maybe the Clinton appointee from years ago, Judge Stewart, will also go along with it, but at least it could be 2-1. Then it may be appealed to the Fifth Circuit, and then maybe the full Fifth Circuit, then maybe the U.S. Supreme Court. But all that, in my opinion, is not going to be done in time for this year. So I think they're going to run these races in 2024 based on the lines as they are now.
Well, I would think if the court was ruled fairly, they would throw this out. And I told Liz Murrow, I hope you lose your case. I know Liz is just having to represent what was passed, but Seaball and Presley's testimony got to be devastating to people that just want to do another minority district based on a number, not based on where people live. The number might be based on a number and how many black, white, but it's got to be based on where people live. And to gerrymander another district, this has already been proven to be wrong in most courts.
And again, that's exactly right, man. Again, we have 6 congressional seats. And by the way, we're lucky to have that 6th one. We only got it by about 10,000 residents. Louisiana almost lost another congressional seat in 2020. But thank God we held on. So we have 6. And it's true that if 1/3 of the state is the black population, that could justify 2 congressional seats. But you can't go get those seats by racial gerrymandering. I mean, the Supreme Court has been very clear. Equal protection, they say, we're done classifying Americans based on race in anything. Affirmative action at colleges, across the board. We're done classifying Americans by race. So without that, Moon, I don't know how you stretch this district across the state.
No, you don't. But unless you want to just play politics, this is all politics. I just can't believe a judge that Obama put there would do this. And that's what the judge has done. And look, I don't talk about judges. I'm just saying what she's done. I'm not talking about it. I'm just saying this is what she's done. She created every bit of this problem, which is not really a problem.
I agree. And they're trying to compare it to the Alabama case. Those Alabama districts, in the case the Supreme Court decided before, really are not a match. Our state districts are really pretty compact. They're really pretty similar. They have commonalities, they call them, things in common. And that Alabama map did not so much. So I just think this judge, federal judges are very powerful, lifetime appointments. I think she's going to get this thing. Even if let's say they rule 2-1 the way we think is correct, I'm sure it'll be appealed to the U.S. Fifth Circuit. Typically, the U.S. Fifth Circuit is generally a conservative, and by conservative I mean they just follow the law. I always kind of explain that to people. I don't mean they see.
Let me ask you a quick question. So let's say we win this, they go to Fifth Circuit, and we win that. Do you really think the Supreme Court will even look at the case? I don't think the Supreme Court's going to take it. Have to. No, I don't think they will. I think they're going to say, look, y'all already dealt with that. Because normally courts want people to just make those decisions when it comes to districts and voting. That's why they give it to the legislature. They want the people local to make those decisions. We made the decision, and Judge Dick says, nope, I'm an Obama appointee. We don't do that. We don't worry about the law. Are we going to do it the way Obama would do it? And that's basically what you got here.
Right, the way Eric Holder would do it. Absolutely. And that's why it is. And she's smart enough to know this is going to get her reversed if she did that. I mean, so they rushed it through. They put another minority district in there, but I think it's going to get knocked down. And I just don't see any other way. And I've really tried to rack my brain because there's a lot of factors, as I've gone into some of them, that could impact it. But you just can't run a district over a whole state just getting black people. You can't do that.
Yeah. Well, once again, you got to look at who makes the call. I can't believe the courts. This has got to be ruled in the right way. We don't have any laws. Laws don't matter at this point. Of course, to the Obama and Biden administration and the left, laws don't matter to them. They could care less unless it benefits them.
That's exactly right. And the point is, that's why we do have the courts, supposedly, and why we do have the rule of law, beginning with the Constitution. And then we have federal statutes. They're supposed to be followed. And the Supreme Court has made very clear for 30 years now, as I said, Moon, in far broader areas than just gerrymandered, far broader. They said, we're not classifying Americans by race. That's an equal protection problem, and we're not doing it. So unless something's bizarre going on, we're going to say the district lines as they are okay.
Yeah, well, I hope you're right. I think today it's the third day today, so they're thinking they're going to wrap up today. But last question for you, don't they have to make a decision like ASAP, though? Like really quick?
Yeah, presumably they do, and they'll treat it expediently. But then again, if the U.S. Fifth Circuit hears it, everybody, they could expedite all of it, but it's trying to tell the federal court what to do.
Yep. All right. Appreciate it, Royal. Take care.
Okay, Moon.
All right. Thank you. We'll get back and wrap up this. Also, big news. Blank Page gets shot down big time. Him and his buddies in the camera business. We'll get to that. Don't go nowhere. Alan Seaball's comments and the testimony. Governor Landry wanted Representative Garrett Graves out in the new congressional map. A lot of people wanted him out in the new congressional map. It wasn't just Landry. We'll be right back.
It's springtime, and that means garden time here in Louisiana, and Louisiana-owned and operated Stein is where you need to go to get all the great deals on plants and everything else you need for that brand new flower bed you've been wanting to make. Stein has great deals on garden soil, mulch, weed, and ant killer, everything you need to lay the groundwork for that brand new flower bed, plus assorted flowers and vegetables in jumbo 6-pack starting at just $2.79. The weather is perfect, and that means you have the opportunity to start bringing those great blossoms into your yard today. Plus, springtime means outdoor cooking, grills, charcoal and propane burners, all of that you need you can find online at steinhome.com. Louisiana-owned and operated, Stein is your place for the gardening and outdoor grilling you need to take advantage of this spring. Check out everything they have to offer online at steinhome.com. That's steinhome.com. Check them out today.
When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases? Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com.
Craig Morrell.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. By the way, join us 10:06 Greg Bowser would join us. He is the president of the Chemical Association. EPA and the Biden administration coming down hard on our friends in the chemical plant business. Absolutely ridiculous what they're doing, folks. And they just, everything they could destroy. Can you imagine a president and a party trying to destroy everything that we need in the country to survive? And people voting for him. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, he would join me and talk about what they're facing, uphill battle they're battling, and they want it done in 90 days. They gave them 2 years. Now they come back and say you got to do it in 90 days. Anyway, we'll wait and see. By the way, just a couple of things. The redistricting deal, folks, it's all racial, all racial, all racial. Judge Dick did this. Judge Dick, Obama appointee. Race. And if you talk, Alan Seabaugh had a good testimony, and Presley. We were there because we were basically told we had to draw a second majority minority district or the judge would. That was the only reason we were there. That was it. Race. Presley, racial component was the fundamental tenet. We were told we had to come up with 2 African-American districts. Otherwise, the court would draw the map. Y'all not going to, it's playing out maybe like it's supposed to. I wouldn't have never done it. I'd have said, Judge, you want to draw them, draw them. Because when the judge drew the map and it was you were still going through the courts. This was always going through the courts. That's why I said, don't draw a map. See, now you done drew a map and gave them something. Don't draw the map. It had nothing to do with the Alabama case. Don't draw the map. If you hadn't drawn a map and Judge Dick had drawn a map, it was going to court. And it would have been worse for her because she'd have really gerrymandered that sucker. And then she would have had to admit on the stand, I got help from Cleo Fields or whoever they got help from. That's why I said don't draw the map. Now, maybe I'd have been wrong. I don't think I was, though. By the way, you know what one of the arguments is, and Royal brought it up. Well, it's a good map because we got Mike Johnson as the Speaker of the House, and Julia Letlow sits on appropriations or whatever committee dealing with the money. Guess what? They sit on it anyway. What a dumb argument. Well, we will have the Speaker of the House and we got somebody on appropriations. We got him anyway. What's your point? That argument is one of the dumbest arguments I ever heard. This is lawyers coming up with arguments. And one of them is you would have Mike Johnson as Speaker. By the way, somebody started to, people, I'm not defending him anymore, but some people starting to question that. But Julia Letlow sits on a powerful money committee. Okay? They do anyway. If the map stays the way it was redrawn, they're going to be there anyway. What a dumb argument. I read one article, Scott McKay had Obama Judge Shelley Dick, Obama Judge, that's how you should refer to, the Baton Rouge-based judicial wrecker who created the mess in the first place, demanding a new round of redistricting on pain of her doing it herself, finding that the current 5-1 congressional map underrepresents black voters. It's this is really easy, folks. This is a racial required district. By the way, I'm going to get to it sooner or later. Saw an article, testimony during this trial. Greg Hillman of the Gannett newspaper. And remember, Hillman don't even know where he's at half the time. Louisiana's Governor Jeff Landry wanted Representative Garrett Graves out in a new Congress map. Yes, he did. So did Steve Scalise, because Graves knifed Scalise when he was trying to be the Speaker. So does Mike Johnson, because Graves knifed Mike Johnson trying to get him beat. So does Julia Letlow, because he slapped her in the back. So does Clay Higgins, who he went down there with the help of Clay Shakespeare. Remember that poison name? Went over there and robbed some of the areas Clay Higgins represented because Garrett wanted it. So, yeah, Garrett made a lot of enemies because Garrett don't even have friends in the congressional house, in Louisiana's congressional house, because Garrett is a solo artist. It's all about Garrett. Landry wasn't the only one that wanted him out. All those congressional people are friends. They all endorse Landry except Garrett. Why would he support Garrett? But here's the sad thing. I hope Garrett wins in the fact that the district is not changed. I want Garrett to be the representative. by default, but I want him to be the representative because I don't want this gerrymandered district to go through. But Garrett, they can go ahead and say Landry wanted him out. Yes, all these other people wanted him out too. And I can give you a bunch more names if you want to go with that. So anyway, we'll take a break. Be right back. Hey, folks, this is Moon Griffon. I built my dream home. Start imagining your dream home. And when you do, make sure you call my friends or get in touch with my friends at Schumacher Homes. SchumacherHomes.com, SchumacherHomes.com. When you tour a Schumacher model home, you're in control. Stop by during operating hours and tour at your own pace. There's a reason my friends at Schumacher have been building homes for over 30 years. They're committed to making the home building process as enjoyable, simple, and hassle-free as possible. Call them or visit them. SchumacherHomes.com. SchumacherHomes.com to schedule your free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting. Hey, it's an hour or two of your time working on your dream home. And my friends over at Schumacher Homes just announced some exciting news. You can get a mortgage rate as low as 2.875% when you finance with Schumacher Homes. That is 2.875% when you finance with Schumacher Mortgage. Hey, the whole Schumacher team is dedicated to making sure your dream home becomes a reality. SchumacherHomes.com, SchumacherHomes.com. Folks, remember the name All Field Equipment, allfieldequipment.com. When I say All Field, that's ALL Field.com. All Field Equipment founded in 2016 by my good friend, Mr. Bill Allen, with over 50 years' experience in the oil and gas industry. Hey, this is a great company to do business with. Whether it's production equipment, control valves, controller, glyco pumps, chemical pumps, chokes, Wilden pumps, Barton recorders, Allfield has new rebuilt and parts. Allfield handles some of the industry's top brands such as Norseal, Fisher, and Kimray. On the supply side, Allfield has anything from Q-tips to appliances to general Allfield supplies. Allfield is one of the largest suppliers of bottled water in the Gulf. And remember, Allfield never changes transportation. Like the name says, Allfield has it all, covering the Architects area and the Gulf of Mexico. Allfield Equipment, 337-837-1003, 337-837-1003.
The IRS.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% List Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. What a great day to be with you. Hope you made it through the rough weather. Some of it's already past us for the most part, but I'm sure it's still havoc on some of the state, Louisiana, and other parts of the state. But hope you get through it. That's why you need to have that home generator. You hear me brag about them all the time. All righty. Let's see something real quick. Let me wrap up on this. So out of the testimony, federal trial determined the future Louisiana new congressional race. They admit Jeff Landry wanted Garrett Graves out in the new Congress. I've been hearing about that since they talked about doing it. But you got to remember, made Landry mad, made Mike Johnson mad, went after Steve Scalise when he was trying to be the speaker, went after Mike Johnson. Mike got it anyway. Slapped Julia Letlow in the back of the head. And Clay Higgins, because of Clay Shakespeare, went down there and stole some of that district that Clay had. So Garrett Graves could have that district down there where they're going to make money on carbon capture and windmills. Landry testified it was common knowledge among lawmakers reported widely by media that Landry would throw his support behind a map that could end Graves' career. The governor wanted him out. So what? Every congressional person, every one of the congressmen we got and congresswoman we got, every single one of them had a bone to pick with Graves. Every one of them. They'll tell you they're very standoffish. They do their own thing. They don't really care about being along with the team. If I told you how directly I was getting this from people, nobody would even argue with me. Okay, but the media loves to hit Landry. They think this is a hit on Landry. Anytime they can hit land, Greg Hillman's no better than the Gannett. Gannett guy's almost no better than the Devil's Advocate. That's what they do. But Graves made his own bed. You know, he dug his own grave with this. Now, I'm going to say it again. I hope Graves is right. I hope this is unconstitutional. I hope he gets, one day you say, no, I'm just telling you because I think the district was drawn, but I'm not blaming the guys that drew the district. I'm blaming the people, Judge Dick. What I blame the lawmakers for doing is not saying, no, we're not doing it. We already drew the right district. And I don't understand why somebody's got to explain to me by letting Judge Dick draw the district that was going to be horrible anyway, and then she was going to be hopefully rebuted by her own peers and judges. And it made her look bad. But I didn't win that case. They wanted to draw it. They said they had to draw it. It'd be better if they drew it. They didn't want to defy the court. Not defy the court. Say, Judge, we got our district. This is the one we're doing. We're not defying you. You want to draw it, you go draw it. But we can't come up with a district that's not racially gerrymandered. And they didn't. And by the testimony of Alan Seabaugh and Presley and a lot of other people, it's all about race, the whole thing. So let's see what the judges decide. But it's all right. As long as we keep doing everything that's racial, we're going to just keep burying the state in the United States of America. Everything needs to be on justice, not race. Not for whites, not for blacks. That's just the way it needs to be. Now, getting to the bill that I wanted to get to. Senate Bill 379 by Blake Miguez. Okay? You ready? It passed 38 to nothing. 38 yeas, 0 nays, and 1 absent. This was the bill I was talking about with Blake Miguez the other day, Senator Miguez. Well, it's a big difference having a Senator Miguez and a Senator Blank Page Cortez, huh? Big difference when you have a Governor Landry and then a Governor Edwards. So Blank Page, because of his power in the Senate, he used it. He used it to benefit his buddy Joel Robideau in the gambling, passed every gambling, expanded gambling more than ever. All this crazy budget stuff. We couldn't get Cortez to do anything except for what he could do to take care of his buddies. I still believe this Basin Bridge on I-10, they only targeted the Basin Bridge. Now, look, there's a problem with speeding on that bridge. Take it from a guy who goes 62 and gets in the right lane. Everybody passes me. But there are answers for that. And even the law enforcement in St. Martin Parish and Iberville Parish, the sheriff said, we don't want what Cortez and them did. And they testified against Blank Page Cortez's bill. He's the one came up with this crap. Because one of his buddies is going to make money because most of the money was going to a camera company. I can't accuse anybody of doing it yet, but I got to believe that's why he did it. Because the bill was passed in 2022. For you people in Balkanville, that was 2 years ago. If it was about safety, it was about safety of this particular interstate piece on the Basin Bridge, which is down there starting at Henderson, Louisiana, and going across. If it was about safety, we should have jumped on it and done it in 3 to 6 months. But why did they wait 2 years? Well, let's see. Who's no longer in the Senate? Blank Page Cortez. Blank Page Cortez. Was Cortez going to benefit from this? The truth is going to come out because I'm going to find it. Or was his buddy who helped him get in the Senate going to benefit because if they represent a camera company? So they passed it because he was a sitting president, and when a sitting Senate president goes to his people and say, I want this bill passed, guess what? The bill gets passed, and this is one of the bills that he wanted. But Blake Miguez won a gigantic election, kicked butt and took names. And Blake came back with a bill to get rid of the cameras. To get rid of the cameras they were going to put on the basin. Because what you were going to have, it should take you 18 minutes to go across that. You over 18 minutes, you're going to get a ticket in the mail 2 weeks later, which does nothing. So what they did, they came up with a bill to get rid of it, to do away with what they voted for in 2022, 2 years ago, which was the money-making scheme for the camera company. Yesterday in the Senate, 38-0. 38 senators with the right leadership voted right. Democrats voted against it to get rid of it. Republicans voted to get rid of it. Men voted to get rid of it. Women voted to get rid of it. Everybody voted to get rid of it. 38. All we got to do is get it through the House committee. The House is going to vote it out too. And Perry Cortez and them behind the scenes were trying to work it not to get rid of this. They interviewed Cortez there. If anything goes wrong, it's going to be on your hands. Well, Blank, I got news for you. If you get on the interstate and got a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit anywhere in the country and the world, there's accidents. If this was about safety, there's no way you're going to tell me it was going to take them 2 years to come up with the cameras to do what they wanted to do. No way. You told me 3 to 6 months to implement it. I understand. 2 years? Why? Blank ain't there no more. He ain't the Senate president anymore. It ain't him and Bell Edwards anymore. This is so cool. Man, I'm telling you, this is so cool. Somebody said, just wait, something happened to you, you get hurt. That can happen every time I cross it. That could happen if you put 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. Man, listen, even people like Mark Abraham voted it out. Stuart Cathy. Jay Lunatic. Hey, little credit to Senator Jay Lunatic. He don't never get nothing right. Lunatic got this right. Cleo Fields got it right. Even Reese's Peanut Butter Cup got it right. You don't see this every day. The fee. Oh, the fees, I'm back. I never know what a fee is. Francis Tom House Senate. You got to kind of find out where that dude's at. He's in the House now again. He was in the Senate. All right, let's take a break. 844-766-6607. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. By the way, even Cocktail Couson voted. His old buddy Blank Page couldn't get Cocktail to vote right. Cocktail Couson voted right. That's my senator. That boy Cocktail. We'll be right back. From their humbling beginning, Dino Hardwoods is striving to provide superior service and quality products for their customers. Hey, I know Charles Altman. He does a great job. If you're looking for lumber, Dino Hardwoods stocks a large selection of domestic and import hardwood lumber and cypress. You ought to see their stuff. Exotic lumber, they got that as well. Trust in Dino Hardwoods when it comes to your exotic lumber needs right now. Molding, plywood, paint, and L products, they are ready for you. They got 3 great locations. Their corporate office is right here in Broussard, Louisiana. There's an office in Shreveport on 2801 Valley View Drive and one in Tyler, Texas, 12492 Highway 155 North. Hey, if you're looking for something different and something new and somebody who will service you, it's Dino Hardwoods. I'm telling you, don't forget Dino Hardwoods. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Great locations. They can service you. They can deliver. DinoHardwoods.com. Check out this great Louisiana company. Folks, you hear me brag about an advertisement. South Star Urgent Care is the name you need to know. Listen, you look up, you're in the middle of the night, you're looking, God, where do we go? South Star Urgent Care. They open on weekends. They open at night. They can get you taken care of. If you're sick, if you're feeling bad, maybe you coughing, dehydrated, fever, flu, fractures, South Star Urgent Care wants to service you, and they're going to treat you like you want to be treated. They're going to get you in, get you out. You're not going to sit in a dark waiting room for a bunch of times. South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. You can register before you go and set your appointment. Hey, it's really cool. These folks at South Star greet you with a genuine smile and make you feel very comfortable. Folks, you're looking for the perfect urgent care? It's South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. South Star Urgent Care. It's the urgent care you need. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com.
Shastar, bro.
All yeah, 844-766-6607, Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. I got to thinking about this. This is almost hilarious. So, blank page Cortez gets a bill passed, and I still think it was for his buddies, maybe for him too, to make a fortune. And it was supposed to be about safety to put cameras on this basin bridge. Look, it's a problem. I get try what I do. I go 62, get in the right lane. Everybody passes you up. I got it. I get it. There's a lot of accidents on it. I get it. But if it was about safety, they would have done something in 6 months, but it wasn't about safety. It's trying to get their camera company where they can make a lot of money. I seen Joe Robideau, his old buddy used to be the parish president here, almost ran the city into the ground, parish into the ground. He became all of a sudden this great lobbyist for Gallon and Blank Page, by the way, his next door neighbor in the same driveway. They both go in, one go right, one go left. So it's hilarious, 38-0. Everything that he did, the bills dealing with the Second Amendment, that stuff's all passing now. Cortez stopped a lot of stuff because he hated Miguez. So we got Cocktail Couson. Senator Cocktail Couson raising taxes, y'all. Cocktail Couson, his good buddy, the guy he endorsed, nobody ran against him. He was so beatable with the right guy. Cocktail Couson voted to get rid of cameras, and he took Blank Page's spot. Wow. This is awesome. Cocktail done got in line with the right people now. How sad was the Senate president for the last 4 years? Matter of fact, as I watch these bills pass and the Senate's not killing everything, I think, wow, what a repudiation of Blank Page Cortez Senate presidency. There's a repudiation going on right now of everything him and Clay Shake Snyder and Bel Edwards did. There's a lot of it coming through now. And these guys had all that money from the federal government. And it just does my heart proud when I see a bill like this pass. 38-0. A washout and the guy that took your place in the Senate. Cocktail Couson. Old Cocktail voted to get rid of his buddy's bill that he passed. Wow. I mean, it's like, when you got Jay Lunatic voting right, I mean, what a bill. Nobody was for the bill. How did he get it passed? Well, he got it passed because he was the Senate president. I want this bill. My buddy is going to make millions, and I want to help him. And that's what Blank Page Cortez did. Cocktail said, nope, we ain't doing that no more, Blank. Oh, my God. This is like, man, this is beautiful, folks. This is the kind of bill that just makes my heart proud. Now, the House got to finish the job, but it was the Senate that stopped stuff like this. It was the Senate that passed this. I'd have to pull a bill. I don't have the bill. Somebody can send it to me. The one that he passed in 2022. I got to go pull that up. Because if they passed it, there's a voting record. Who changed their votes? Because some of these senators, a lot of them went back in. It just shows you the pressure that a Senate president can put on you for the wrong reason. But anyway, this is, Miguez and Landry down there versus Edwards and Blank Page. Woo, it's just a big difference, folks. Like just night and day. It makes my heart proud that we're seeing some things passed. By the way, Louisiana Senate advanced a bill to let local cop enforce immigration laws. The bill advocated by Governor Landry of the Republicans started Louisiana national debate over immigration. No, it's over illegals, Mr. Finn. Under the bill, people live in Louisiana without legal immigration status face up to a year in prison, $4,000 fine, up to 2 years in prison, and $10,000 fine for the second offense. Senate approved the bill 2811, sending it to the House. Good bill. Let our law enforcement and people go to work and do their job. What is wrong with that? Nothing. Somebody said, yeah, that's a good point. They got some loyal people on the House side, people like Bogus Boboye and them. I just wonder. There's a part of me thinks that Blank Page and them wanted this bill to die because they knew the scrutiny was coming on. Because I ain't gonna say the only one, but I think I'm the only one that, in the whole state that actually covered and watched this bill and actually was really upset about it. I'm not gonna say I was the only one. People a lot brighter than me might have been on top of this, way ahead of me. But man, this is great to see. Cocktail voted against Blank Page. Maybe they won't be drinking. They won't be smoothing too much now. Another thing, lawmakers can and should address Louisiana's maternal and infant mortality crisis. So this was an editorial in the Devil's Advocate, okay? All the bad rankings on which Louisiana leads the nation, none are more heartbreaking or damning than those reflecting the risks associated with childbirth. Here's one of the measures in the decade prior to pandemic. Babies, Louisiana is 65% more likely to die from preteen birth and low birth weight. Louisiana, the fifth highest maternal rate among all states from 2018 to 2021. Many factors contribute to the crisis. Let me ask y'all a question. Who was the governor between 2018 and 2021? Anybody want to take a guess on that? It was Bell. You know, the one that did so great. If Bell was there, why didn't Bell get this fixed? Wouldn't it end in this department that we had problems and it never got enough money? Although Bell Edwards was governor for 8 years and he was also in the legislature for 8 more. He's been there 16 years. (2018 to 2021, the fifth highest maternal death rate. Why is the Devil's Advocate writing an editorial now? Where was those editorials when Bell Edwards was the governor? They didn't have them. They were too busy protecting him. It's amazing to watch what they do. Now Jeff's in there. Oh, y'all need to put more money. We need to do something. We need to do something about it. If you can do something about it. But why wasn't the question asked when Bell Edwards was the governor? Okay. I'm just kind of curious, why wasn't the question asked when Bell was the governor by the Advocate? It's amazing. I thought Medicaid was going to save all this. I thought Medicaid expansion had done so much for the state and for these poor people. But it's a health care problem. Many factors contribute to the crisis. Pre-existing health issues affecting women who get pregnant, difficulty navigating care for Louisiana moms whose pregnancies are covered by Medicaid. Whoa, just a second. Who was the guy that expanded Medicaid? Who was the guy that said Medicaid was his greatest accomplishment? Bell Edwards. What did it accomplish? Except making more people hooked on the federal government and state government. That's what it accomplished. See, folks, it's like my good friend CB forgot to say, don't wee-wee on my leg and tell me it's raining. The media is wee-weeing on our leg and telling us it's raining. And they've been doing that forever, but they really did it under the God leadership of one bellboy. The whole thing was a lie. The whole 8 years was a lie. But I know people are going to believe him anyway. So we had Medicaid expansion, and we still having problems. We had Medicaid expansion in 2016. 2018 to 2021, we had some of the worst numbers we ever had. And we talking about these girls that are pregnant. It's Medicaid handling all this. Medicaid expansion didn't do nothing Bell Edwards said it would do. And neither did the media. They keep talking about this as a bright spot. Give me what it did. Give me what it did. All right, when we get back, looking forward to Mr. Greg Bowser, who's been on this program many times. What is the EPA and the Biden administration doing to our chemical plants? Take a break. Be right back. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1.
Mike Air from
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
Inflation is back and raging. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's former President Trump's reaction to this morning's report showing consumer prices rising more than expected last month, up 0.4%. The annual inflation rate crept back up to 3.5%. Triggering a sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow's plunging almost 400 points over worries the Federal Reserve won't be able to lower interest rates.
The interesting part of this inflation report is if you look, we now have a trend of 5 months in a row that we are seeing inflation increase. It means the Federal Reserve will likely pause and hold these rates higher, even maybe after a summer meeting.
Fox Business Network's Edward Lawrence. President Biden in a statement says prices are still too high, but inflation is down 60% from its peak. The president's just greeted Japan's prime minister at the White House, telling Fumio Kishida
that partnership between us is unbreakable.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is testifying now at the House.
The public safety and security of this country is our highest priority. I believe
so. That was Congressman John Rutherford interrupting Mayorkas at a budget hearing. His House Republican colleague Ashley Hinson just told Mayorkas,
"You've systematically wasted taxpayer dollars already. You've opened the door for these surge-related activities, waving the green light for all these migrants to come, cartels, the human drug traffickers."
House Republicans have delayed sending the Senate impeachment articles blaming Mayorkas for ignoring laws till next week. Democrats call it a policy dispute. A PR stunt may not even hold a trial. A former Trump executive is going back to jail in New York.
Alan Weisselberg, the former chief financial officer for the Trump Organization, has been sentenced to 5 months in jail in a perjury plea deal. He was charged in March with 5 counts of perjury for lying under oath multiple times about the values of former President Trump's properties during the New York Attorney General's civil fraud investigation. Weisselberg previously pleaded guilty to tax charges and served 100 days in jail.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than what we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with a proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. I trust Birch Gold. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantaged status. So text PROTECT to 989898. That's PROTECT to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
I heard the call to serve, so I answered. I earned a title and discovered my purpose. I found belonging, an unbreakable bond with my fellow Marines. We fought to overcome adversity together in defense of our nation and its people. I've lived a full life, rich with meaning. And even though I no longer wear the uniform, I am still a Marine. My service has come full circle. I will always look after those around me. I will always uplift and support my country and my community. Because that is the promise I made. That is what it means to be a Marine. Semper Fidelis. Always faithful, always Marine.
It's time to win cash. Get your KPEL News apps ready because here's your chance to win up to $30,000. Just enter the following code into your KPEL News app where it says win cash, and make sure you listen for more codes throughout the day because the more codes you enter, the better your chances. Here is your next code.
It's your 10 o'clock win cash code, and that code is 451. Your 10 a.m. code is 451.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. What a great day, even though it's, be careful out there with the weather. It's kind of going through for us here in Lafayette. But anyway, I know the rest of the state, somebody's still dealing with it and probably dealing with some other problems. So hang in there. Hopefully the cavalry's on the way. If you're in trouble, you need some help. Let's jump gears on the hotline, on the Matthew James hotline. It's always good to have him on here. One of my favorite guests, president of Chemical Association is Greg Bowser. Greg, how you doing, man? Long time. Hope you're doing well.
Doing great, Moon. Just trying to stay dry and stay out of this bad weather. You know, it's hopefully it's going to blow through here and there won't be any major incidents going on.
Yeah, y'all a little over and up than us, so we kind of went through ours already. So I agree 100%. Hey, Greg, it's always a pleasure. But unfortunately, sometime when I talk to you, I got to talk to you about what they're doing to y'all. And I've been reading all this EPA stuff, really being hard on the chemical plants. And I want you to explain to people what's going on, what pressure is coming on y'all now, because it never seems to stop.
It never does, and you know, one of the things that the Biden administration is trying to do is to do things administratively at their will, and that way they don't have to look at the science, they don't have to look at what's practical. To be honest with you, and that's causing some problems. You know, I think it's gonna if it stays the way it is, Moon, it's going to create some problems, some things that people are not going to be able to get in terms of. You know, for example, the chips that go into your cars and things like that, things that we make, that we do here in Louisiana, you're not going to be able to get those things.
So what are they expecting to do? I hear the electric cars that they're trying to make takes way more chips than the regular combustion engine. So if you get, and by the way, you always say something. Just try living without a chemical plant for 90 days and see where that gets you. Everything that the chemicals are involved in, you try to live without it, you wouldn't make it too long, would you?
No, and, you know, look, our plants, these plants operate, they do it safely, they don't mind being regulated. It's just that regulations got to make sense, and you ought to have time to implement those things so you don't get in trouble and you don't run afoul of violating environmental laws. You know, that's the one thing, you know, to operate safely and to say this is what we're going to do and test it and know that it works would be one thing, but that's not what they do here. It's almost like they come up with something, and even if you tell them it's flawed, they don't want to hear that. If it sounds good, they're going to do it. For example, this what they call the iris that he uses. It's a sample to see the test background for ethylene oxide. Well, that thing is flawed because you know the body gives off a certain amount of ethylene oxide itself. This thing is if you use this iris, it's going to detect that as a violation.
Yeah.
And so, you know, without getting too technical, I mean, those are the kinds of things that when you bring it up to them, they don't care. They just say, we want you to get there and you figure out how to do it.
Let me ask a question, Greg. Greg Bowser, president of Chemical Plant Association. These things that are making y'all do they, I know it's costing money. So is it costing y'all money that you got to pass along to the consumer? Does it cost you money directly out of your pocket? Does it costing the consumers that you got to charge them? I mean, is it all above? It's got to be some money, or they wouldn't be touching y'all without money coming back to them.
Yeah, it's all of the above. I mean, it's like anything else. You know, if it costs the manufacturer more to make it, then they're going to have to pass that cost on, and it just trickles down. And at the end of the day, the guy at the end of the line gets the bill.
Well, that's you and me when we go to work. I mean, when we go on vacation, we go to work, we go grocery store, we go wherever. All that stuff's going to cost more and more and more. By the way,
yeah, and I think that's yeah.
By the way, because I was kind of curious, when is the cost? Did they ever tell you if y'all do this, we're going to bring the cost down for the American people? Did they ever tell you all that?
No, and they can't because they don't have any control over the world market. I mean, they try, but all they want to do is they say, hey, look, just do it. We think it's good for us, and for what we want to do, and do it. That's it. And in many cases, Moon, they ask you to do something that's probably impossible to do in some cases.
Yeah. Well, God have mercy. Unbelievable. But I saw that. I saw the headlines of it, and I started reading. I said, better call Greg because the EPA is, well, this is what people don't know. This is one of many, many things that you can explain they've been doing to y'all for a while now. And it's like a constant battle for y'all to even stay in business.
Yeah, it is a constant battle, and, it doesn't impact the people who are putting this in place because, they work for the government, and they use our taxpayer dollars to get around, to do whatever they want to do. The EPA administrator mentioned, he had this tour to justice or whatever he wants to call it. Yeah. But, he came down on his airplane that how much fuel was that? All the things he talks against, he uses.
Yeah.
What I would like to say is that if you don't think these things are really good for the environment, stop using them. Yeah. You as an individual, stop using them.
Yeah, there was another part of this that I'm seeing some kind of justice with chemical plants, but I want you to explain to people. My daddy, as I told you before, I had a brother that just retired in a chemical plant. He worked in them 40 years. I had a daddy that worked 35 years at Dow Chemical. And I know this. I mean, it put our family through school. My daddy didn't die because of cancer. My brother's doing well. Just got all his checkups and tests. And my daddy ended up dying at 82 years old, so he beat the age limit of a man about 4 or 5 years. And he put us through school. He did so many good things for us. But I want you to explain to people that the chemical plant was there first for the most part. These subdivisions, you go down to Plaquemine, Dow Chemical. I think I'm right about this. They built a subdivision not too far from Dow Chemical, maybe a couple of them, and they and I might be wrong, but I go there a lot. I probably didn't pay attention, but they started building and people started moving around chemical plants. It wasn't a chemical plant say, hey, let's move over here by this subdivision. You guys move by the Mississippi River because you need it. Explain that to people, please.
In most cases, chemical plants located, they needed, it was a location, lots of land, it was vacant land, and it was next to the river where you can ship bulk chemicals in and out by barge. And, a lot of plants got started up, and then you had subdivisions all of a sudden started moving into them, moving next door. And so then you're right, the plant was there first. And so now they're saying, well, you need to shut the plant down. Because now it's causing me, I'm uncomfortable because I'm living next door to a plant. Well, it was there when you moved in.
Yeah, sure.
In many cases, the plant was there before the subdivision came up.
Yeah. A matter of fact, I think I ain't been to Dow Chemical in a while. I mean, my daddy's been gone, but I thought when coming into Dow Chemical, there was a new subdivision on the left-hand side right before you got to it. I know there's some subdivisions across the railroad track. It's a big, nice subdivision.
They're coming in. There's a new subdivision. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a gated subdivision just before you get to the chem plant.
My daddy started at Dow Chemical when he was 20 years old. Okay, I want to tell you that now. My daddy would be 88, I guess. Okay, 20 years old. It wasn't even a big plant at the time. They were just starting to grow, A matter of fact, he started out as a night watchman. He'd come on with a check and a couple rabbits. But nobody can get on him. Nobody can fuss at him now. I remember his buddy Ralph Willie, Mr. Ralph still living, they would come on with a couple rabbits at night because when they were out there doing their work, there'd be some rabbits. Man, another story. But point being, it was there. There wasn't no homes even close to the chemical plants.
Well, the one thing that amazes me is that the number of people we have working in chemical facilities throughout the state of Louisiana, and those people are healthier, they live longer. And let's remember, they're at the plant 12 hours a day, some of them 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. And so they're closer to any exposure or anything that would happen, and yet those people have long, healthy lives. And it's incredible that all of a sudden, if you live outside the fence line, you see the plant seems to threaten you more than it does the person who's working within the plant.
Well, it's a money deal and a money grab and a control deal right now. You know, Greg, I'm going to ask you really kind of a foolish question, but I'm going to ask it to you. Let's say today they shut down every plant up the Mississippi River in Louisiana. Shut down every one. Now, you know everything that's being made on these plants. Right. What wouldn't we have? What would we have to get rid of if they shut down the chemical plant? Because I'm telling you, these nuts really would like to go shut chemical plants down.
They would. One of the things that COVID should have taught us is that, you know, what we do is we'd be dependent on China. We're dependent on overseas, things being manufactured overseas and sent to us when they feel like it. You talk about your national security. If you can't get some of the chemicals that we need, some of the things that we make over here, if you're relying on your foreign adversaries to give it to you, man, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, just if you can, grab a few things that you know that y'all produce that there's no way we can probably make it without.
Yeah, the one I give you right off is the chips that go in your car. You remember when COVID hit?
Yep.
You couldn't find a car anywhere on the car lot?
Correct.
You know, they had the cars, but they couldn't operate because the chips they needed were in China.
Yeah.
And the Chinese decided they weren't going to ship them to us.
Yeah. That's exactly right, Minnie. But the chemical plants are so important. They've been important to the livelihood of people here. But it really, let's be honest, chemical plants are involved in everything the military does. We couldn't fight a war without the chemical plants.
Yeah, we have a couple of plants, for example, that here in Louisiana that manufacture the kind of aviation fuel that the jet fighters need, that they need to fly our airplanes.
Oh my!
And so, you know, and the only reason I know that is because when you have a hurricane, one thing the military makes sure is you don't shut that plant down because they've got to get that jet fuel.
Yeah. Tell you what, let me take a break. I'm gonna hold you just for about 4 or 5 more minutes along the same subject.
Sure.
His name is Greg Bowser. He's the president of Chemical Plant Association, and something we need in the EPA and the Biden administration. I mean, they're working these guys to death, trying to destroy them. And Greg sees it on the front-hand line. So we're going to take a break, be right back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you, or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks. Oh, they're good. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Oh, serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com.
You ever stuffed a...
Hey, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Honored to have Greg Bowser, President of Chemical Plant Association, joining us today. You know, Greg, medicine, plastic, medical instruments, fertilizer, clothing, you name it, toilet paper, chemical plants are involved in. You make the comment all the time. See if you can live without what chemical plants touch every day. Try to do that for 60, 90 days. See how you live.
That's the one thing that people don't realize is how much our everyday lives are touched by what we manufacture and what we make. So if you try to take that out of your daily life, it becomes a problem to you. And you know what? You will realize the necessity of those items. And the thing that we always say is that, you know, our facilities don't have a problem operating under rules that make sense. And that ought to be the thing. That ought to be practical and ought to make sense. We have enough technology today to let us know what that is.
But, Greg, haven't y'all, through the years, you've been associated with it for a long time, y'all have made adjustments. Y'all have made the hard decisions. Y'all have had to do things you didn't want to do, what you did. Sometimes it helped, sometimes it was good. But now it's obvious what they're trying to do is destroy chemical plants. When the president ran for president, he mentioned St. James, Louisiana. Yeah. And they started talking about people's health. And, they like to talk about Cancer Alley and things of that nature. But things have changed from the 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s. I mean, a lot of things have changed.
Yeah, they have changed. One of the things that they talk about all the time is they talk about cancer risk. Okay, and what that is, Moon, is that if you have certain things you're in areas at risk for a higher rate of cancer, and so they talk about cancer risk. Everything puts you at risk for cancer. The thing that you want to look at is the cancer incidence rate. That means how many people are catching cancer or have cancer in a certain area versus somewhere else. Okay, and I'll give you an example. Ascension Parish has a number of chemical facilities there. That's one of the healthiest parishes in the state.
Yeah, it depends on who we're talking about. It depends on and things like that. But that is not what the media wants you to see. They don't tell the reason I brought you on, as you can tell, is I tell people I give a third of the information you can't get anywhere else because they're not talking about any of it. A person like you comes on, it's talking about, some people go, well, that's not what I read.
Yeah, that's right. They don't ever talk about the cancer incidence rate, okay? That's the thing. The two things you want to look at, cancer incidence rate, how many people are catching cancer that puts you outside the norm, and the other one is the cancer mortality rate. And what that tells you is that, what we don't want is what we had for many years ago is people dying of cancers that you shouldn't die from. That means they don't have access to early health care, and that's the kind of stuff that we got to have.
There's no doubt about it. Greg Bowser, my special guest. So, Greg, the latest and greatest from the EPA. Can I ask you what y'all doing to fight what they're trying to do? I noticed they gave y'all 2 years to do something, and now they want it done in 90 days. And so talk a little bit about what they want y'all to do and why what they're talking about in 2 years is probably ridiculous, but 90 days is not doable at all.
No, it's not. It's something that, and they know you can't do it in 90 days. What's going to happen is we're in the process now of looking at these rules and talking to our members to see what the experts recommend. My guess is that you're going to see probably somebody's going to file suit against them. They'll challenge it. They'll look at it, and hopefully, what will happen is the judge, a cooler head, will come in and say, "Hey, you can't do this. You can't walk in and say, we want you to do X, and you need to justify why you want them to do that." I mentioned the tool that they use on the ethylene oxide. It's 23 times higher than what the background is. That means it registers. You got to be 23 times. Just a normal person would break that rule just from breathing. Yeah. And so I think that's the kind of stuff that we've got to do away with.
I
think what's going to happen. Eventually we're going to do our analysis on it. We're going to look at it. Certainly, we're going to try to comply with it. Some of it you cannot comply with, and for that, we're going to have to it's probably going to end up in court somewhere.
But if you had to do everything they want to do, there's got to be a business cost associated with what they want you to do. Because I'm sure every time they get you out to do something, the money comes out of your pocket.
That's correct. That's correct. And then companies have to make business decisions. And the thing is, how much longer do you stay in the United States and do that, or do you move somewhere else? If you can move offshore, if you can do it somewhere else, you go do it somewhere else. And you're talking about a loss of jobs, and there's no plan to replace those jobs. No. Right now, the Biden administration they're handing out grants to all local groups just to make a lot of noise, and none of them are coming up with any scientific evidence or anything.
Let me tell you something. I'm not listening to no scientific evidence from the federal government. From masks that men can get pregnant. I got a problem with the scientific evidence now. And I don't want to bring you in all that, but I'm just telling you, I got a lot of problem with their scientific. What they want to be scientific, they can't prove it from a scientific standpoint, but they want you to believe it from a scientific standpoint.
Right.
Unbelievable. Right. Well, we wish you the best. You're always welcome here to talk about the issues. And I just saw this and I thought about you. Like your buddy Rusty,
I appreciate you.
Your buddy Rusty Cluche was saying, saw Greg the other night. And I said, man, I got to call him. They got this thing. He said, an EPA deal. And I said, well, I got to call him. So that's why I heard him call you today. And I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Anytime, Moon. Appreciate talking to you, buddy.
All right, Mr. Greg Biles of Chemical Plant Association. Appreciate it, Greg. All right, I take a break. More to come. Don't go nowhere, folks. We just cranked up. We're only halfway home.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. Spring is here, and if you love seafood like I do, you need Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Ragin' Cajun's delicious seafood dinners like etouffee, Creole sauce, shrimp and grits, seafood bisque, gumbo and roux. All Ragin' Cajun products are made right here in Acadiana. Folks, trust me, they are good. Ask for the Ragin' Cajun and all your favorite grocery stores today. Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning. Ask them for the Ragin' Cajun. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast. When you think about how...
This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. What a day, what a day. Great to have you with us. Hope you're safe. That front's still moving through some parts of Louisiana. I hope you hang in there. Stay safe. Y'all saw the inflation numbers, huh? 3.5%. That's on top of everything. Remember now, none of this is coming down. Inflation accelerates more than expected in March. Wall Street Journal chief economist correspondent said the central bank needs credible justification for beginning rate cuts. Inflation accelerated in March, third straight month, keeping pace painfully high for a million Americans. All of us. Labor Department said Wednesday consumer price index, a broad measure of the price of everyday goods, including gasoline, groceries. Rent rose 0.4% in March. Price climbed 3.5% the same time last year, above the 3.2 figure recorded in February. Folks, I bring it up because let me just, I'm going to be right about this. I even took the time to call some financial people today because I wanted to make sure when I said something, I didn't say it and it was wrong. They keep blaming everything. Okay? Well, people are raising their prices. Of course they are. They have to. Folks, all this, every bit of this inflation thing that we're talking about, and I'm not going to sit here as a professional economist or anything else, although I could in a lot of areas, but I won't because that's not who I am. Let anybody say what they want. Let them write what they want. You can read anything you want about inflation. Joe Biden blames store prices for raising their prices. He don't know how it works. When you say something that's stupid, well, you ain't dealing with much between the ears. But still, it's stupid. All this, every bit of it, is related to the government spending in Washington, D.C. Every bit of it is related 100% to the printing of money and selling our debt and we're spending it like we got it and we don't have it. That's why I get upset with people that are talking about all this green climate craziness and they get money from the federal. Everybody, 50 states, everybody's in Washington, D.C., begging them for more money because we didn't ran it up and the cost up and we got a big problem now. Everybody is running to Washington, D.C., begging for $1. Everybody in this state, and the state next to us, and the other state, and they're all 50 states. And it's a problem because they won't quit spending the money. They won't even try to quit spending the money. They don't care. We're going to be $40 trillion in debt in the next 5 or 6 years. Some people think we'll be $40 trillion in debt in the next few years. Used to we ran up some debt when we got in trouble. Now, after COVID, we just keep running it up, and they don't care. That's amazing when this hits us in the mouth, and it's hitting us through inflation right now. I'm not wrong on this, and I'm not a doom or gloomer. I'm telling you what they're doing in Washington, D.C. has a 100% relatable to the inflation that we're seeing. All by design. That's why when I get upset when Psycho Bill Cassidy runs around, I got some money for you from the Inflation Reduction Act. Well, if it's Inflation Reduction Act, when the hell do we see it? That's what they called it. That's what Psycho Bill and them went around. Hey, we voted for this Inflation Reduction Act. Well, when does the inflation get to be deducted? When does it start deducting? We deduct, you take it away. It should go down. It ain't went down. It's never gone down. It's amazing to watch this. We got our great elected officials. Oh, man. Hey, really smart. Put them all together. It's the biggest bunch of idiots in the world are in Washington, D.C. 435 of them, not counting brainless president and the bureaucracy. I really do. I'm getting more concerned about it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all will all prove me wrong. God, I don't know nothing good. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the guy that don't know anything. But if I'm right, you're going to be the idiot that thought that nothing would go wrong. I'm trying to pass stuff along like credit card debt. It's the biggest, it's worse it's ever been. The worst it's ever been. You think that's good? Inflation tapping into savings accounts as we struggle with inflation. People are using their 401ks to pay for stuff. People are using their savings account to pay for stuff. It's shown on this, 26.1% of Americans withdrawing money from savings, including retirement accounts, or sell off assets to meet basic spending needs, just to meet the basic needs. So this is a problem. 11.5 to tap into family and friends to access capital for routine spending. Well, you add the 11 to the 26, that's 37%. $40-year high. U.S. inflation, 40%, 40-year high. Gas prices keep going up. Food prices keep going up. Housing costs keep going up. You know what happens when we can't go buy these cheaper vehicles now? Insurance costs goes up. It costs more to fix a vehicle. Why would a country that claims we have these such great representatives and senators, why would they do this to the American people, which is shellacking poor and middle-class people? And I'm in the middle class. I know. 55% of respondents say they worried a great deal about inflation. Only 55%. That means 45% either filthy rich or they're so used to getting from the government and not doing anything, they figure they'd be taken care of. 52% believe that inflation is a bigger problem than unemployment, immigration, and crime. I wonder why Green New Deal's not up there in people's minds as, boy, this is a problem. Because a lot of this money they're spending is on this Green New fake crap that we've been told by the media and meteorologists, yes, that climate change. It's a lie. We're spending trillions of dollars on a lie, and we don't have the money to spend. Of course, American people, including people in Louisiana, we taking it left and right. Post-COVID-19 inflation has taken a toll on American pocketbooks. You realize they're spending more money than they did at COVID. They never went back to the regular spending. They getting ready to, I had a guy call me, actually one of the people I called. Home buyers, mortgage rates, 6.5% to 7%. Now, the price of the homes are costing. Not only do you have the price of the interest, but the price of the homes are rising. Insurance rising because everything else is rising. It's going to cost more when I bring my truck into the shop. And I just got it out. It costs more to fix it now. So the insurance companies, when I got to use insurance for my vehicle, if I got in a wreck, it's going to cost more to fix it now. Y'all are all experiencing this. Y'all think this is by just, well, it's just the way it is now. No. It's designed by the bureaucrats. They don't care. They got a lot of people making a lot of money with the Green New Deal. They don't care. Doesn't affect them like it does you and me. Everything you see out there is caused in inflation is by lawmakers who, by the way, are going to not quit spending. You know, and I'll talk about it in a minute. I told you I love Mike Johnson. I'm not trying to defend Mike Johnson anymore. I had to talk to people in the Bongino show sending me emails. What the hell's happening with this cat? I can't defend him. I can't. I want to. I really want to. Anyway, this is what we're dealing with. And if we don't tell Washington to quit spending and tell these people back home to quit taking every penny they can possibly get, we got a problem. Look at the sun shining. You'd have thought earlier this morning that an eclipse came through. Sun shining. Won't even mess up my natural when I go out there. Let's take a break. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Highlight. Look how black it is over there. Walking in black, but that's all going through here now. That's above us going through. All right, we got to take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. You're welcome. 844-766-6607. You can email me, moon@moongriffon.com. We'll be right back. Spring is here. If you love seafood like I do, you need Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Ragin' Cajun's delicious seafood dinners like etouffee, Creole sauce, shrimp and grits, seafood bisque, gumbo and roux. All Ragin' Cajun products are made right here in Acadiana. Folks, trust me, they are good. Ask for the Ragin' Cajun and all your favorite grocery stores today. Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning. Ask them for the Ragin' Cajun.
As Louisiana's only fiberglass manufacturer and fabricator, C-Safe Fiberglass Grading and Structural Systems has provided corrosion-resistant products to the Gulf Coast for over 45 years. Our fiberglass grading, cable trays, and structural shapes are ideal to replace corroded, rotting building products and can be custom fabricated by the best fiberglass craftsmen in the world, right here in Lafayette. Contact C-Safe or visit our website at csafe.com. That's SEA like the ocean, SAFE.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. When you think about how hey, y'all, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Somebody send me your questions about food and climate change answered. Your diet affects climate change. Yes. Yes, it affects diet. What you eat. Quit eating so much. I swear. I promise you there's an article about that. Anyway, stupidity at the highest level that I've ever seen in my life. Woo! Woo, man, people buying into a lie. Anyway, the other thing I was going to mention, I started right there in this segment, was Congressman Mike Johnson speaker. I know him, been on his program many times. He was on it with us, I think, a week or two ago, last week. And I can't defend him anymore. I've gotten on him too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is. I mean, after they get rid of him, some of these bills that are passing, you know. Money for Democrat agenda, such as money for LGBTQ programs, $1.8 million for Rhode Island Hospital that provides abortion up to 22 weeks of pregnancy, $650,000 for New Hampshire Hospital provides late-term abortions. That was all in that bill that they just passed. Did not stop the energy-killing Green New Diamond deal, which is devastating this country. Will devastate it. Did nothing to stop the weaponization, DOJ and the FBI. Johnson maneuvered to combine funding from multiple agencies into a 2,000-page bill rather than one for each agency. Did not agree to 72-hour review period that they had. Felt like the bill was crammed down their throat. Look, I'm going to say it again. I like it. I do. And for the most part, I'll probably always defend him. I just can't defend him for people that are calling me about the bills that are what's in that bill they just passed last week before last, whenever it was. And I don't know what to say anymore. I know he's smart. I know his position when it comes to God, and I know his position in his walk. I mean, he's our Speaker of the House. I don't know if to blow up on him or not. I don't want him to be removed as Speaker. But I notice when you pass a bill and the Democrats and the media are happy, it never makes us happy. Never makes the conservatives happy. How do I defend it? And you see, I've already heard, not from Mike though, I've already heard from Republicans, they just wait till we get the House, wait till we get the Senate, wait till we got the president. We had that when Trump got elected. And Trump did some great things. But we could have killed Obamacare. We always got a few Republicans, always a few Republicans that will screw everything up. I was reading one today. It was in Nebraska. Nebraska passed a bill to protect young women's sports, but only biological women could play in a women's sports. Sound like a great bill to me. Sound like an awesome bill. I was glad to see. But a problem happened. 2 Republicans in Nebraska helped Democrats block protection for girls' sports in Nebraska. 2 Republicans. Always ready. Dan Bongino says that all the time. You find Republicans as a Democrat, but Democrats are never Republicans. 2 Republicans joined Democrats in blocking legislation would have stopped transgender athletes from competing in girls' sports in K-12 schools in Nebraska. Republicans always, you can promise you, they're going to screw it up when they get something. Because we always got the fake ones. Bill that would stop student athletes from participating in sports teams for the opposite sex, as well as using locker rooms and bathrooms for the opposite sex, was blocked by a filibuster on Friday in Nebraska, according to the Nebraskan public media. 4 hours of debate, 31 state senators voted for the legislation, but the bill needed 33. Oddly, 2 Nebraska state senators who initially co-sponsored it did not vote. They said the Nebraska School Activity Association was plenty. So, once again, when you want to screw something up, you need it messed up, you need it screwed up in legislation, always count on Republicans to screw it up somewhere in this country or in this state. Is that not pitiful? This is so easy. Though bills like that to me are so easy. Well, I'm worried about what the courts would say. Man, the heck with the courts. The hell with the courts. When it starts about passing a bill, and when I say hell with the courts, I mean if you want to pass a bill, pass a bill. The courts want to throw it out, they throw it out. But you don't stop passing the bill because you're worried about the courts. Tell you what, I say hell with the courts on that stuff like that. Democrats say hell with the courts on everything. They're not supposed to be paying back any student loan. Biden paid back $150 million in student loans, or $250, whatever it was. He didn't care what the court said. He didn't care what the Supreme Court said. They never do. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's take a phone call. Susan in Shreveport. Miss Susan, how you doing? Good to hear from you.
Oh, I'm doing great. Moon, speaking of Speaker Johnson, today they are voting on a FISA Act, a Surveillance Act, and 2 of the congressmen are putting up an amendment to require a warrant to listen to Americans' telephone calls, because the act that they're about to pass does not have that. So our Fourth Amendment is being trampled on, and unfortunately, Speaker Johnson has indicated that he is for this to pass without the warrant. So I'm asking people to look up his number, give him a call, and just say, Mike, what the heck's going on? Because, I mean...
Well, I don't understand because... I know, but I don't understand because before he became the speaker, he would have been out there knocking the fire or something like that. He would have before he became the speaker.
He would have been.
Like I said, I love him to death, but I can't defend stuff like that. Susan, I'm not going to defend him anymore. I'd love to, but I can't. I can't defend by saying, well, you got to understand that we only got a 1-vote margin. I'm not doing that to you or anybody else because I'm not going to look like the fool.
We just need people to call and at least let them know what happened. I feel like it's invasion of the body snatchers. And I'm like you. I don't want him removed. Heck, he's a heck of a lot better than what we've had. But it seems like we're living invasion of the body snatchers.
Yeah,
what happened?
I don't know, and it bothers me that I don't know. It bothers me for him. I don't have any idea. It just blows my mind. I know people that are close to Mike that have talked to me says the same thing I'm telling you. And this is people that I know are really close. If they don't understand, how the heck am I going to understand? It blows my mind. Really does. It's sad, and I pray.
12.
Huh?
I think the vote is around 12 o'clock, and maybe if they hear from people, if we could get the amendment to pass to include warrants, at least have a warrant if you're going to surveil the American people. And by the way, there's a carve-out for the congressman. So if you're a congressman and they're going to surveil you, they have to notify you. But if it's Moon or Suzanne, they don't have to notify us.
They say they always make sure they're taken care of, and that's why I call it the most selfish club in America, Washington, D.C. Y'all going to do what we say. We not going to do anything y'all say because we are exempt. I'm a congressman. I'm a senator. That's the new America. It's not going to be pretty. But you got to have people that'll fight. Look, it's okay fighting and getting beat if you're fighting for the right cause. It is. Anyway, all right, Susan, I got to go. God bless. Thank you. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I think I printed it in my stuff over here. I don't know if I printed it or not. I came across it and said, man, is that saying what it said? And I think she's got it right exactly what it needs to be said. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607 is the number. If you'd like to be part of the program, your opportunity to be a voice. Take a break. Be right back.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
An alliance that's never been stronger. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's how President Biden describes U.S. relations with Japan, hosting Prime Minister Kishida in the Oval Office.
So today I look forward to discussing how we can even deepen it more, including increasing defense and then technology and cooperation across the board.
They're scheduled to hold a joint news conference and later a state dinner. President Biden getting shouted questions about a ceasefire in Gaza, telling reporters still negotiating. A day after Univision aired an interview taped earlier in the month when he called Prime Minister Netanyahu's approach to the war a mistake. Meantime, the Hamas leader says 3 of his sons were killed in an airstrike today, accusing Israel of being driven by revenge and saying targeting his family won't pressure Hamas to change its position. Former President Trump just arriving in Atlanta for a campaign fundraiser and telling reporters
Biden has totally lost control of the Israel situation. He has abandoned Israel. He's totally abandoned Israel.
Also again criticizing the charges against him as a weaponization of the justice system, with the first of 4 criminal trials scheduled to begin Monday in New York. The former president also says inflation is back and raging after consumer prices rose more than economists expected for a 3rd month in a row, up 3.5% year over year.
And core inflation on an annual basis was up 3.8%. Both those readings are stronger than expected. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has said he needs to see inflation retreating sustainably to the 2% goal before the Fed can start cutting interest rates.
Fox's Jenny Cosola. The latest report has Wall Street selling off. The Dow's down more than 500 points. President Biden says there's more to do to lower prices, but that inflation is down 60% from its peak. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than what we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with a proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. I trust Birch Gold. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantaged status. So text PROTECT to 989898. That's PROTECT to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
A longtime financial executive for the former president is sent back to jail.
Alan Weisselberg, the former chief financial officer for the Trump Organization, has been sentenced to 5 months in jail in a perjury plea deal. He was charged in March with 5 counts of perjury for lying under oath multiple times about the values of former President Trump's properties during the New York Attorney General's civil fraud investigation. Sentencing lasted just minutes, and Weisselberg, who is 76, was immediately handcuffed and taken into custody. The plea deal does not require him to testify at the former president's hush money trial involving adult film star Stormy Daniels, which is set to begin next week. Weisselberg previously pleaded guilty to tax charges and served 100 days in jail. In New York City, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
6 former Mississippi law enforcement officers already sentenced to years in federal prison are now sentenced in state court for their roles in torturing 2 black men. A Rankin County judge giving them years-long state sentences shorter than the amount of time in federal prison they've already received. Time served for the state convictions will run at the same time as the federal sentences. Football fans can mark their calendars for the first regular season home game in Brazil.
Wednesday, the NFL announced the full matchup for its first game to be played in South America this September. While the next NFL season will kick off Thursday, September 5th, when the 2-time reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs will play at home, their opponent yet to be named, the NFL revealed who the Philadelphia Eagles opponent will be for a game Friday, September 6th in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The Eagles, the designated home team, the visitors, the Green Bay Packers. The game will be played at Corinthians Arena, home of the Brazilian soccer team, SC Corinthians. Jared Max, Fox News.
So recapping the sell-off on Wall Street, the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, all dropping more than 1% right now. The Dow's down 486. And Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.